Now, this is either the weirdest decision in this film yet. They somehow forgot their own movie, or perhaps it's something more. What's up? CJC presents WandA Workouts in Anime. In today's video, we'll be discussing the possible huge continuity error that was made in the Eureka 7 High Evolution first film, which basically sets up the second and third. But before we even get to that, we should discuss the continuity that's actually being built within these films and where it deviates from the anime. This is very similar to how the EVA films have done it, which I believe after episode 8 occurs the rest of the films. And I do have to apologize actually, so I think the last 2, maybe 3 videos, I definitely know the last 2, I've stated that I'm going to be doing a build-up for Thrice Upon a Time, which I thought for some reason came out November 12th. It's not the case because it already came out. I still intend on doing the series, of course, but I'm probably going to take my time getting to them. So just want to get that out there. I do apologize for getting the date wrong. I don't know what film's coming out November 12th. Yeah, but this one's, third film's coming out November 26th for High Evolution, but I digress. Let's move on. So so very similar to how the EVA films do it. They go to a certain episode, and then the original story takes place. So where the trilogy deviates is supposed to be right after episode 24, titled Paradise Lost. The first film is essentially the recap of the anime. So the first third gives us a look into the Summer of Love, which, to be honest, should be its own OVA, but I digress. So the hour of the film that's remaining, because it's I think the film's an hour and a half, first half hour, Summer of Love, the rest is the recap portion, but it primarily focuses on Renton's time with the beams between the episodes of 21 to 24. Throughout the film, we get bits and pieces of what happens to earlier episodes, but not that much, since even Renton's grandfather gets cut from the story. So yeah, there's that. And as we see the film wrap up with Renton running towards his goal and being with Eureka, we get the shift to the original story of the High Evolution at the end of episode 24, leading to the second and third film. However, a problem comes from the trilogy, and it's not from the viewer's perspective, but Eureka's? Let me explain. In the resolution of the second High Evolution film, Eureka says this to Fuka. Hey, what's up? Editor CJC here from the future, letting you know that this clip and the third clip that I have from High Evolution 1 don't have any audio. I guess a problem, screen recording didn't capture the audio. I do apologize for that. I could also redo it, but ain't nobody trying to do that. So yeah, enjoy. Well, okay, what's the problem with that? The problem is, that's not how it happened. In fact, that didn't even happen at all. This is actually what happened in the anime.
他にいたんだろ
わかんないんです。俺にだってわかんないんですよ。
わかんねえじゃねえ。一体何があったエウレカに何をしたどうやって地底から戻ってきた
Erika also tells Fuka she didn't see him once she awoke. But that's not the case at all. Because in the first movie, they show this event, which occurs 2 episodes after the experience. That's basically why Erika's all gooey and stuff. Pause. Play the clip. So now look, I would understand if she said she didn't see him at Misha's office, but since they showed this clip in their own trilogy, mind you, this logic is completely thrown out the window. If they had shown a different scene of the aftermath of Renton being consumed, then Erika saying that she doesn't see him again afterwards makes sense. They don't do that. They keep the same scene of her being shown in the Nervash when Holland is asking Renton how they were able to escape the mind, and here's a side-by-side comparison of both scenes. So now, let's discuss the possibilities as to why this potentially happened in the trilogy. I think a mistranslation should be thrown out as a possibility because otherwise, why would Ray Beam's character profile state that she blames Erika for the death of Renton when the mine incident occurs before even meeting the Beams? It would be one thing if she, pushed Renton away in the office, like as she did, but to be honest, that's a pretty dumbass logic, and would completely just shit on female characters for that reason alone. So I just think it makes sense for Erika to, believe that she actually killed Renton. Although, I would like to say maybe they just simply forgot. Boom, video's over with. Clearly this trilogy was planned far ahead. The original plan was to release each film once a year. They were able to do so with the first 2 releasing in 2017 and in 2018. The plan was to release the final film in 2019, but of course COVID, that's understandable, so of course plans had to be pushed back. So obviously they have something in mind as to who the big villain is, because what I personally believe occurred, and I think it just makes sense, is memory manipulation. After the events of the mine, Erika was able to gain, godlike abilities in order to create realities in which she can live with Renton. But something must have occurred during that time, because who is it that gave her these abilities? But then again, you're going to create a paradox, because if Erika is able to gain these godlike powers, wouldn't she be able to notice that her memories have been manipulated? Probably not, because from this we can actually conclude that her powers were only limited to creating these realities without fully realizing what's occurred, only to be blinded by the chance to be reunited with her dead loved one, because obviously Renton isn't dead. So Erika's ability to create these realities came with a price, which ultimately resulted in the great fusion between her Earth, which is known as Green Earth, and Fuka's Earth, known as Blue Earth. I don't believe Erika wanted to create the Great Fusion, but rather someone or something else did. There's still no clear explanation as to what the hell the Nervash X was from the High Evolution film, nor do we get a clarification from the new info that we get from the website. So let's take a look at the first teaser trailer we get. It looks as if the new Nervash Z, is battling against this red thing, which actually turns out to be the silver box. So the information on the website reveals that Nervash Z was battling against the silver box and was ultimately incapacitated by the Loveless, that being Nervash X, which is now in the government's possession. I'm led to believe that we will not go 10 years into the future right away, but the opening act, to draw the viewers in, is going to see how Nervash Z gets sealed before we get that 10-year time jump. So if we look at the Loveless description, lets me believe that someone in the government or someone from Blue Earth wanted the Great Fusion to occur. So I mean, speaking from experience as a Gundam fan, there's usually a third party that's the ultimate enemy, and I think there's plenty of evidence that this is also going to be the case for this film. Dewey's faction may appear to be the red herring, since they want to kill Iris, who is being protected by Eureka. But I'm led to believe that someone from Blue Earth actually wants to use Iris's powers for something. I'm not too sure what it might be used for, since honestly this is just mere speculation, but since Eureka has lost her powers and now this government is able to get their hands on Iris, they want to protect her at all costs. I can only come to this conclusion that, you know, Dewey's faction is some sort of red herring is through Nervash Z's profile, which states that Dewey's plan breaks it free from its seal. So if we look at towards the end of the second film, Dewey looks up at the egg of the Nervash Z is in, and I'm gonna paraphrase here, that the egg in which the Nervash Z is in is its final form, and that'll be the child that will guide to Nirvana. Now, whether the seal break is intentional or not, I mean, I guess we'll have to find out, or perhaps Nervash awakens from a slumber. Who knows? But maybe this is also why Holland does join Dewey. I still find that very weird, but that's my only logical conclusion as to why they join forces. So that brings this video to an end. So, is it a continuity error? Personally, I say no. But what do you, the viewer, think of this? Let me know in the comment section below, as I'd love to read what you have to say in regards to this upcoming film. Are you excited? I'd love to read what you have to say if this is a continuity error, or maybe not an error. Who knows? See you in the comment section below and in the next video. Peace.